Good morning, students. Today we are going to deal procedural implementation. Okay, on the last class, as per the diagram, what we have did we are studying the strategic activating strategies, and in this activating strategies we have completed the very first, that is procedural implementation. Today we are going to complete the next important phase or implementation in activating strategies, that is procedural implementation. So let us study that what does procedural implementation mean. So it refers to the sequential steps describe the rules and regulations of any programs or projects. So in this procedural implementation, procedural implementation, we are going to discuss about the rules and regulation. That is a very important part, which means that what kinds of rules and regulations which are being implemented in the organization. Procedural implementation includes what? The procedures. How we are going to deal the procedure. Procedure को कैसे हम करते हैं? We are going to deal the procedural part with the help of only rules and regulations. That whatever the rules and regulations which the organizations are having, we have to deal accordingly to those rules and regulations. So those rules and regulations are known as what? Procedural implementation. So procedural framework consists of a number of legislative enactments and administrative orders besides policy guidelines issued by companies and different levels of the government from time to time. So these are what the different kinds of policy guidelines which is being shown by the government or which is being displayed by the government, that comes in the form of what? Procedural implementation. So the entire procedural implementation consists of the rules and regulations, the policies which are being developed by the company or by the government, and the company should have to follow those rules and regulations. That is known as what? Procedural implementation. So the regulatory elements considered under procedural implementations, what are those which today we are going to study about? That all those regulatory elements which should be considered under the procedural implementation. So the very first regulatory is what? Formulation of a company. Okay, the formulation of a company is what? The very first regulation. So it is governed by the provisions of the Companies Act 1956, which consist of promotion, registration and flotation. These are what? These are the different three terms which is being, three basic terms which comes under the Companies Act 1956, that is promotion. Promotion is what? Preliminary step taken by the taken for the purpose of the organization. Exactly, the promotion means what? That what are those preliminary steps which is being taken for the purpose of the organization. The very next is what? Registration. In the Companies Act 1956, the very next point is what? Registration. So registering the memorandum of the company, articles of association and the agreements with the registrar of a company, that is being included in the Act 1956. And the third is known as what? Flotation. It means raising the capital to commence business. Okay, so here flotation means what? How we are going to raise the capital so that the business would be commenced, that is known as what? Flotation. So here the very first regulation which comes under the procedural implementation is formation of a company, that how we are going to form a company according to the Company Act 1956. The very next important regulation which comes under the procedural implementation is licensing procedures. That is very important. License is what? Is a kind of permission. We talk about the license in layman terms, it is known as what? A kind of permission. So in Industries Development and Regulation Act 1951 provided for a licensing system for development of industries. A license is a written permission from the government to an industrial undertaking to manufacture specified products and services included in the schedule. Exactly, if we talk about the license, then license is this only, which comes under the Company Act 1951. Okay, now the third very procedural implementation which comes under it is known as what? Security and Exchange Board of India. That is requirement, Security and Exchange Board of India requirement, which is also known as SEBI. The SEBI, as we know that the SEBI are also known as the nerve stocks or the nerve centers of any organization or the nation also. The SEBI Act 1992 led to the creation of a statutory body. Okay, it has three objectives. SEBI has only three basic objectives. The first objective is what? To protect the interest of investors in securities. That whatever the investments are investing in the form of securities like shares, debentures, that they have to protect their interest of the investors. The next very important function of SEBI is what? To protect the development of the securities market. Whatever the security market is being developed there, they have to protect their securities. Okay, and the third is what? To regulate the securities market. It means that the entire Security Exchange Board of India is going to regulate the securities market, SEBI. Okay, so these are what the basic three functions of SEBI, and SEBI is also a part of regulatory implementation, or we can say that procedural implementation. The fourth policy or the fourth rules and regulation is MRTP requirements. MRTP requirements consist of monopolies and restrictive trade practices. The MRTP Act 1969 prevent monopolies and restrictive trade practices and the concentration of economic power. That MRTP Act is a very important act which comes in 1969, and the basic objective is what? To prevent the monopolies and restrictive trade policies, so that only few of the businessmen would not take the economic power. Okay, each and everyone should have to be equal in front of the law. So this is what a very important procedural implementation. Okay, the fifth is what? Foreign collaboration procedure. This foreign collaboration procedure is a very important part, with the help of which we can come to know that how we are going to get the foreign investments. Okay, it includes expansion and diversification procedures such through joint ventures. Joint venture is an important part for attracting foreign investment. It's a very important part for attracting foreign investment. Okay, so foreign investments is of two types. There are two types of foreign investment. The first is known as what? FDI, that is known as foreign direct investment, which can take place through wholly owned subsidiaries or joint ventures or acquisitions. And the other one is what? FII, which is known as foreign institutional investments or portfolio investment, which can take place through investment by the foreign institutional investors. That foreign institutional can direct invest the money on that. That is known as what? FII. And FDI is what? We are going to take the investments directly from the foreign investment. That is known as what? For FDI, with the help of joint venture. So in the foreign collaboration procedures is being undertaken under two, that is FDI and FII. Okay, now the sixth very important procedure or rules and regulation which we have to follow is import and export requirement, EXIM requirements. Okay, EXIM requirements means what? EXIM means import and export requirement. That is also a very important term. Okay, import and export are the very important term which helps in increasing the net national income of any country. Okay, so import and export requirement constitutes an important part of any strategy implementation exercise, because imports are vital for capital goods and raw materials provisions for new and existing projects. Exactly, for new and existing projects it is very much important and necessary, whereas exports are the first step as an entry mode to the internationalization for any organization. And exports are what? That is the very first step on the basis of which we are going to enter ourselves in the international market. So this is about the EXIM requirements, export and import requirement. That requires a very vast category of documentation. Okay, now the seventh important rules and regulation which is being followed under the procedural implementation is what? Patenting and trademark requirements. That is known as what? Patenting and trademark requirements. So patenting means what? To make whatever the concept and ideas which are being developed or which is being initiated by us, we have to make it secure, while with the help of some rights, that is known as what? Patenting. Or we are going to give a mark on our products or services of the company, that is known as what? Trademarks. Okay, that trademark is being given only to a particular individual only, and it should not be copied by the others. That is known as what? And if the others others should have to take the franchise. They are not going to copy it, the others should have to take the franchise. That is known as what? Patenting and trade requirements. Today, WTO, World Trade Organizations, are considering more towards trade related aspects of intellectual property rights, TRIPS. Okay, so the Indian Patent Act 1970 governs 1970 governs patenting in India. Okay, or the Copyright 1957 restricts one from copying others. The Trade and Merchandise Mark Act 1958, which gives a mark, okay, 1958 provides provisions for protection of trademarks and for the prevention of the use of fraudulent marks or merchandise. Okay, so this is what these acts prevents or provides a kind of different activities to them. Okay, so this is what about the patents and trademarks requirements. Now the eighth important the very eighth important rules and regulations is known as what? Labor legislation requirement. What? Labor legislation requirement. Labor laws consist of 150 laws. Labor law 150 law इसमें आते हैं. Sir, some of the important laws are which are number one, labor law related to the weaker sections such as women and children. As we all know that women and children, we will not make women and children laborers in the mines and all those areas. Okay, this is what the labor law says. The next very prevalent and known labor law is what? Labor law related to specific matters such as wages, social security and bonus etc. Okay, that we have to give according, which is being binded by the government only, wages and social securities also. After that, labor law related to trade unions, industrial relations and workers participation in management. It means that labor law also shows about the use of trade unions or worker participations, that how we are going to participate with the workers or the trade unions in the with the help of labor laws. Okay, there are around 150 acts which comes under the labor law. Okay, now the ninth important law or rules or regulation which comes under the implementation is what? Environmental protection and pollution control requirement. This is a very important, that is known as environmental protection and pollution control requirement. We have to control the pollution, we have to control the environment, so that the rivers, so that the air, so that the land, so that the air, all these would be free from the pollutions which is being generated by these company personnel or the industries. Okay, so for that, central and state government has imposed several laws for preventing and controlling the pollution and environment. Those are the Environment Protection Act 1986, okay, which talks about the entire protection of the environment and which shows some guidelines on the basis of which the company should have to follow to protect the environment. Okay, the next under it is the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1974, which shows that how the company should have to protect the pollutant of water. Okay, the next is the Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1981, how we are going to protect the air. Okay, the next is the Wildlife Protection Act, that is 2002. The wildlife means how we are going to protect the wildlife. The next is the Forest Conservation Act, that is 1980, how we are going to protect the forest. We don't have to cut so much trees. Also, deforestation would not be done much, and afforestation would be implemented. All these shows about the Forest Conservation Act. Okay, and the next is the Biological Diversity Act 2002. This Biological Diversity Act shows that how we are going to diversify all those species, all those biological species which are there in the nature, which helps to support the nature. Okay, so these are what the important kinds of acts which comes under what? Environmental Protection protection and pollution control requirements. And the last one is about the consumer protection requirement, as it is also known as consumerism. Consumer protection requirement is also known as consumerism, with the help of which we can control, we can protect the rights of the consumer. Okay, in course of a strategy implementation, companies are required to confirm the legislative measures for the protection of consumers. Okay, so we have to take the legislative law. The laws are being made to protect the consumers. To protect the right of consumers, companies should follow. Number one, they have to follow around 5 laws. Okay, number one is what? The Essential Commodity Act 1955. The other is the Trademark Act 1999. Next is the Sales of Goods Act 1930. The next act is the Standard Weights and Measures Act 1976. And the last one is the Consumer Protection Act 1986. Okay, so these are what all these laws are, the rules, and today we have studied about various types of rules and regulation, which is very much necessary for any organization to understand, to read, so that they can move accordingly on the basis of these rules and regulations. That is known as what? Procedural implementation. Okay, students, thank you to all of you.